On this episode of Florida Roadside Attractions and Abandoned Places, we come to the very south side of Lake Okeechobee, to a very small town called Lake Harbor. Very small post office with Old Glory flying on its southwest side. We begin at the crossroads of Corkscrew Boulevard and Miami Canal Road alongside the old Miami Canal. This is it right here. Built in the early 1900s, it connected Lake Okeechobee, which is right up there. The canal ran all the way, still runs all the way to the Miami River. Leads out to the Atlantic Ocean. Keep your eyes peeled for alligators. Look at this. One of the original locks from the original Miami Canal. Just out here, sitting in the middle of the water. Up there, Highway 27 goes all the way around the south side of Lake Okeechobee. I'm going to zoom in on it. I might get a better advantage from this bridge over here. Look, semi going right over it. Better point of view. Helicopter. That could be a tour. Check out the water pipe right before the bridge. I walked over here to get a better view. Just a forgotten canal lock right here in the old Miami Canal. There's the door. No one is using that. I wonder when the last time it was used. This thing was built in the early 1900s. Couldn't find a specific date on the completion of the Miami Canal, but I speculate 1910s, 1920s. Can't find that information online. Pretty murky water down here. This is as close as I'm gonna get. Who knows, there could be an alligator there. I'm just gonna play it safe. In between the water pipe and the bridge, looking out over the historic canal. It's a beautiful morning down here in Palm County, Everglades. Holy crap. Literally, holy crap. I've never seen so many porta-johns in one place. This is just south of the bridge where we last left off. And then it goes a little more down here. Those look a little newer. And look at this. Processing in progress. It's a floating machine. They're picking up the stocks. That's amazing. Look at that. That's some hard work right there. No stop. There's probably 20 people right there operating that. And that's it for the small town of Lake Harbor. The only two public buildings I see is the post office and the Lake Harbor Community Methodist Church right here. Very picturesque. And we come to the top of the levee on the Florida Scenic Trail, the trail that we've highlighted. It goes all the way around Lake Okeechobee. This is the levee before the lake. We are on the very south side of it. Welcome back to Florida Roadside Attractions and Abandoned Places. I am Tampa J, and this is the 5th and final episode of my Lake Okeechobee exploration series. We've gone almost all the way around. We're beginning today here in Lake Harbor on the very south side of Lake Okeechobee. Back that way. We started way back when, I think it was last summer we started this series, and we were at the town of Okeechobee. That was the very first episode, if you remember that. What I will do in the description below, I will put all of the episodes in order as they came out, in chronological order, so you can go back and check out all of the episodes of this series. We've driven all the way around the lake at the time of the end of this video. There's much ahead. We're actually heading to a town called Clewiston, which is on the southwest side of Lake Okeechobee. That is the very last area that I have not been to, and you guys vicariously. Thanks for joining me, guys. There's much ahead. And now welcome to John Stretch Park, which is across 27. This park has plenty of room for activities to stretch your legs, hence the name John Stretch Park. There's a nice lake here, pavilions, restrooms. A lot of people are over there at the lock fishing. Here is some antique equipment just on display out here, as far as from dikes and dams from Lake Okeechobee. You've got a gigantic piston on the left here. This is a retired pump machinery historical display, John Stretch Park, Lake Harbor, Florida. And it says right here The classic Norberg 1240 horsepower 6-cylinder diesel engine is one of 3 engines that were retired in 1990 from SFW MD pump station S6 because of the poor availability of spare parts. That thing is freaking massive. And then some, look at that. So this is what powered the station right over here, present day lock. And this would have fed into the old Miami Canal, the present day one. I've seen a lot of controlled burns today. Big clouds of smoke like that one over there in that sugarcane field. It looks awful. Like, that's not intentional, but I'm pretty sure it is. Tons of nice pavilions with picnic tables and grills right here at John Stretch Park. Very nice. If you're taking the back road to Miami, good spot to have a picnic. Highway 27, aka Highway 80. The levee over here, south side of Lake Okeechobee. We're heading straight for Clewiston, C-L-E-W-I-S-T-O-N, Clewiston. I spotted something on the map. I saw something that said banana farm. I pulled over here to take my GoPro off the hood, and look at this. Coconut trees. Coconuts and sugarcane. I think there's bananas just down this road. Never seen a banana farm before. Well, never mind. It says road closed ahead. Half a mile, but about 1/4 of a mile down the road, there's another road closed construction sign. Some sort of work going down. I think I'm just gonna pass up the banana farm. Look at this. I've got a banana. That's my brunch. Now entering the city of Clewiston. Also, we have entered Hendry County. Welcome to America's sweetest town. We are in sugar country. A lot of sugar cane in these parts. Also, bass fishing. Some say this is the bass fishing capital of the United States. Check this out. I'm in a cemetery. This cemetery sits right before the welcoming sign. Very unique. It's the first time I've seen that before. Cemetery right off to the right of the sign. Here we come, Clewiston, much ahead. I see a lot of signage for restaurants, bars. I see a lot of agriculture. Immediately caught my eye, the Relax Inn. I noticed a for sale sign. Check out this old motel. Bear with me, it's kind of loud. I'm gonna get closer. This property, currently vacant for sale. Very classic looking Florida roadside inn or motel. Several rooms right here, and then it really opens up back here. I think this is the office. Yeah, this looks to be the office area. Several rooms over here. Sliding glass doors. And then very unique, these little houses, like shotgun houses, which is also part of this Relax Inn. Couple more over here too. Huh, that's very unique. This sits on Highway 27. Right here on the front of the building on 27, for sale sign. And it looks like the actual real estate company listing the place is right next door. Wonder how often that happens. Welcome to Clewiston. It's time to relax. Now at Francisco and 27. I just want to highlight this stretch of unique buildings. Specifically the Napa Auto Parts, used to work for that company, and Brenda's place. This is a bar right here on the corner. Must be 21 to enter, as the sign says. I like it. Brenda's place. Must be a place to hang out. And this is the building directly across from Brenda's place where I parked in front of. So far, if it wasn't for Highway 27, this would be a pretty quiet town. And I have come to what looks like to be downtown Clewiston. And they are currently celebrating spring. Happy spring, everyone. It's a nice street, not too much going on. There's a Babcock and More furniture store. There's an old Goodyear. Look at this. Never seen an old Goodyear tire like that. Just a giant cage of tires. I don't even know if that's operational. Looks like it's vacant. Oh no, I hear some commotion. This must be the backside of Goodyear. Oh yeah. I'm gonna walk up towards 27. I did see a small coffee shop on the right just before the highway. I've reached the corner of 27 and Bond. There's a day spa here on the west side. Over here there's a nice little sign to show all the businesses going on down Bond Street. Right across the way, Common Grounds Coffee Shop. That looks nice. I'm gonna pop in and check it out. I also have to launch today's video, so this is a good moment to do so. This is more so of a sit-down coffee shop, but I'm taking my stuff to go. Notice that this photograph up here of this Dixie Crystal Cinema, I think this might be around the corner, so remember this photo. As you can see, I took it to go. I got a guava pastry and also a sweet tea. I'm spoiling my banana lunch because it was a $5 minimum on card. That's fine. This is a freshly baked guava pastry. I love that stuff. So I took a hard left off of Bond Street, now walking along Highway 27. There's a nice park over there. Also the Clewiston Chamber of Commerce. Check this out. Is this the theater I just showed you? Inside the coffee shop? I think it might be. Now the captivating dental care. It's a dentist. Hold on, I have to like rewind that back and look at that picture. This might be the old theater. This is indeed the old Dixie Crystal Theater. That's quite amazing. So if you go into the coffee shop, check out that photo and see what it used to look like. If I find the picture again, I'll put it down in the lower right hand corner. Who knows when that was taken. And off to the side of the theater, look at this. A lot of old antique farm equipment in the median, a row of palm trees, and then across the way, the Clewiston Museum and Chamber of Commerce. Along the way, I'm going to check out some of this old farm equipment. We got a plow here, very old. We've got this like disc, like a tiller or a disc. I'm not so sure what that is. That's pretty impressive. Big chunk of metal. An old pump. And down here it looks like we got some sprockets. Spacely sprockets. When I see sprockets I think of the Jetsons. Mr. Spacely. Several of them. Several gears, sprockets, more pumps down the way, chambers. There's a giant cutoff valve. And they are closed. I called it. They are open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4. Let's see if we can peek in the window. Okay, that's nice. Little grandfather clock there. Also in this window over here, thought I saw something. Okay, yeah, they got some stuff going on in here. There you go. That might be the gift shop. Out here in front of the museum though, there is this hut, this like tiki hut, and there's stuff going on underneath it. Let's check it out. We've got birds and reptiles. Florida panther, white-tailed deer, American alligator, eastern spotted skunk, black crappie, Florida gar. Also, we got the birds over here. Flamingos. Oh gosh, if I saw a flamingo today, I'd flip. So here is hut 1. Over here, hut 2. It's got something very unique underneath it. It looks like an old cane turner. Golden's new model. Yeah, that's what that is. We've shown many of these on the channel. It's for turning, crushing, basically, sugar cane. It's really neat. They got this on display. I'm sure there's still tons of these around, we being in the heart of sugar country. Least distance to set feed rolls apart, 1/8 inch. Order parts by letter and number. This thing probably came out of a catalog. It's like the day the earth stood still in Clewiston currently. Here on this street, there's an old wagon. We're actually on the front side of Goodyear. This old wagon sits here. Look at the old tracks. I wonder if they use this to haul crops or people involved in sugar caning. Clewiston Utilities. This looks like the water building. This is probably where the local citizens come and pay their water bills. It's a beautiful building, very mid-century. Got the flags a-flying. Man, it's so freaking quiet down here. There's a couple of cars going by, not too many people walking around, just me. This is one of the most peaceful towns I've encountered on this Okeechobee series. One of the nicest too. This is a unique piece of architecture, another mid-century wonder here. Looks like an old pawn shop at the end of Bond Street. My car, right down there, that's where we started. All right, folks, so now I'm on the south side of town, the main tourist attraction here in Clewiston. Welcome to the South Central SugarExpress lines. These are the trains that take the sugar out of town, and also there's a historic SugarExpress tourist attraction train that you can ride. I'll put a link in the description below. I just found this out recently. You can actually ride the train all the way up to Lake Placid and back. It's a historic train ride. The train is somewhere here on property. It's most likely in this building. I'm gonna explore this train, see if we can find anything. And there are several engines out here. Looks like they're ready to go. There's 2 here. Actually, there's like 4 or 5. I'm gonna go on the back side. I'm gonna drive all the way around this place. There's even more down here. I see some of the train cars. This is pretty fantastic. Look at this. The SugarExpress yard. Cool with that tower sitting there. That's pretty neat, huh? So over here to the left are some of the train cars. This is part of the SugarExpress attraction. These are the cars that you ride on, and they go all the way up to Lake Placid and Sebring. I looked at the map. It's a really nice tour, and I think it's like all day. And during Christmas, they do the Santa Express, and they also have something called the Ice Cream Express, which is coming up next weekend. Book your tickets online, take a scenic train ride through the Everglades, and eat some ice cream. This is something I have to come back for. It is not operating today. I looked. I would have jumped right on it. I'm gonna go around on the other side, see if we can see more. Oh wait, I think I see the historic engine. It is right there. So this is the old 148 SugarExpress train, the original train. It was built in 1920. I looked this up on the website. This is the train that takes the SugarExpress, the attraction. That is pretty neat to see it out here. It looks like they're maintaining it, getting it ready. I don't think it's going out today, as I confirmed on the schedule. I didn't think I was gonna take a look at this because I know they keep it right there in that train house. That's pretty fantastic. I wonder how many millions upon millions, maybe billions of pounds of sugar these trains haul out of this very station every year through the Everglades. All the sugar that you're eating, a lot of it comes from right here around Lake Okeechobee. The SugarExpress. I just love that name, SugarExpress. Here on the far south side of town, look at this. Sugar plant, U.S. sugar plant, straight ahead. Actually, if we were to go straight, we'd have to pass through a guard shack and go right into it. As I'm taking the left here, notice the sign and the tower, U.S. Sugar. That is a gigantic silo, and it looks like you can go to the top of the thing. It's very old. And I'll let this view be a reminder that we are also in Florida cattle country. Quite a herd right there. Now this is real Florida. See the calves in the center? Very small. It's so quiet in Clewiston. I think they heard me. I have now made my way back towards downtown Clewiston. I am in Civic Park. Looks like a freshly made tiki hut here. Over here on this building, on the back side of the park, there's a cool mural. Check it out. I'm gonna check it out. Bulk Styles is the artist right there. Bulk Styles. I like that name. It looks like it was painted in 2024. Very fresh, very fluorescent, very colorful. You see the gator, the butterfly on the nose of the gator, the bird on the back of the gator. It's really cool. Good job to Bulk Styles. And to the left of the mural, through the fence, past the tennis courts, through Civic Park, you can see the old theater. That's where we were just a few moments ago. I'm noticing some gigantic banyan trees over here in the front of Civic Park. So we've got a banyan tree right over here. This here, I believe, I'm gonna butcher the name, but I think it's spelled K-O-P-A-K, Kopach tree. That's a Kopach tree. And I remember seeing one of those in Key West. That's how I know the name of that tree. This thing is freaking massive. Beautiful nonetheless. Look at this. 3 trunks going straight up. And then in between that and this banyan tree, we have a picnic table with a chessboard. That's cool. Bring your chess pieces out here. Here's the banyan tree. One of the smaller of banyan trees shared. Ooh, I think I see a bigger one on the other side. A lot of motorcycles going eastbound on 27. I have found the center of Civic Park. We've got a war memorial here saluting the town heroes. I remember seeing a statue just like this in Oldsmar, my old hometown upon Tampa Bay. They've got the same statue with the helmet, the M16, and the boots right there in Oldsmar Veterans Park. And then over here, this is the centerpiece. The military flags, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's the Space Force? They haven't updated it yet. This marker right here is the number 5 British Flying Training School. This plaque is erected on behalf of those Royal Air Force pilots who were trained nearby at the Riddle Field, Clewiston. Between 1941 and 1945, and records their deep appreciation of the warm and generous friendship so freely given to them by the people of Clewiston in the state of Florida. So during World War II, there were a lot of Royal Air Force bases in Florida. It was a strategic point for the war. Just a lot of air bases and army bases, military bases in general on the Florida Peninsula, because as we learned aboard the SS American Victory, the merchant marine ship in the port of Tampa, there were U-boats out in the Gulf. There's music playing on the PA. I don't know if you could pick that up in the background. This is a very beautiful park. This is the west side. Gigantic banyan tree ahead. Look at this. Love banyan trees. They're just so exotic to me. Last time we saw a big banyan tree, we were at the John and Mabel Ringling Museum and Estate in Sarasota with Chris, the girl, and her parents. Check this out over here. We got Sea Rock, collection of Sea Rock garden. Okay, this is awesome. Check this out. This makes me think of my grandpa, my grandfather who just passed away. I don't know if I've ever failed to mention, that he was once the Indiana State horseshoe tossing champion 2 times. My grandfather loved to play horseshoes and toss horseshoes, and he was really good at it. He was actually very well known for it back in the 50s and 60s, and he had this in his backyard. And I remember playing as a kid, tossing horseshoes, and he would have world-renowned horseshoe players come over to his house and practice and just hang out with him. Those horseshoe pits are still probably in his side yard of his old house. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever mentioned that. I have not seen many horseshoe rings, or whatever they call this nice with the flags and everything. Maybe they just had like a tournament or something. Really nice. Yeah, if you don't know what this is, you toss the horseshoe and try to get it around the ring. It's very, very difficult. It's a lot difficult than it seems. And there across from the park, across Palm Avenue, on the corner of 27 and Palm, across from Bond Street, is the Clewiston Inn. It looks pretty old. Looks pretty big too. Look at this church. That's very nice and also very old. This is the St. Margaret's Catholic Church. It looks like Mass is tonight at 5:30 on this Saturday. Also, they have Mass on Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Very old church. This might be the oldest church in Clewiston. And I see why they call this Palm Avenue. Actually, if you took this on the south side of 27, it would go right by the Clewiston Chamber of Commerce. It continues. The palms continue. Hey, how do you spell Del Rio? I had to get a Rocky quote in because this street over here is Del Rio. This is at the end of the Palm Avenue. This is an old bridge. 1949 is what it says. H2O, I guess that stands for water. H2O, or maybe that's H2D. This is like a channel in between this neighborhood on the north side of town. The north side of Clewiston seems to be the nicest part of town. Something and Mary, notice part of the sign is missing right there. Something and Mary and Martin's Marina and Resort. All I see is the Tiki Bar. I'm gonna drive back here and see what's going on. It's a resort. Oh, these look like rooms. That's actually pretty nice looking. It's like a miniature version of the Polynesian. So this is Roland and Marianne Martin's Tiki Bar, resort, campground, condominiums, RV park. They've got a lot going on here. A lot of bikes out here, as you can see. A lot of people at the Tiki Bar, which is on the back side of the building. Sign here says, "Welcome to Clewiston's Lake Okeechobee, the best bass fishing in the world." All right, let's check this place out. The Florida Scenic Trail, right up there upon the levee, past that Lake Okeechobee. It's a nice driveway back here. A lot of boats out on the water today. I see boats, trailers, trucks. Don't be a litter bug. Help keep Clewiston clean. Check out this bug here. Whoever drew that, good job. He's dropping apple core. He's got a drink in his hand. I think he's dropping a banana, piece of cheese. Yeah, nice park. All the way down the intercoastal here. Picnic tables, a lot of people parked. Here's the water. Nice little drop off. And then down here there's more boat launches. Alright, he's far away, but in the center of the screen on the bank there's a gator bathing. A gator bathing. See him? It's as far as I can zoom in. He's pretty big. This seawall here has been made with giant squares of rocks. They've made like these giant blocks and just packed them in here all the way down. There's probably rats underneath my feet. That's a good habitat for rats, in between the rocks. It's a pretty impressive park. Folks, this will be the very last moment of the 5th episode of the Lake Okeechobee series. I will put in order all of the other episodes prior to this one in the description below if you want to go back and check out an episode if you missed it. If you're new here, go check that out. Also, there is a Florida Roadside Attractions and Abandoned Places playlist on the main page of my YouTube channel, so you can check all of that out. Thank you so much for watching and sticking to the end. I am just so amazed of how quickly we did this, and amazed of what I saw along the way. This area, Lake Okeechobee, all the way around it, the largest lake in the southeastern part of the United States. And I've been through every town now with you guys vicariously. Thank you for watching. This might be the shortest episode of this series because I've already covered it all. But I will be back soon, possibly next week, with another update for this series. The series within a series is over, but Florida Roadside Attractions and Abandoned Places will continue. I appreciate you being here. This is some of my most favorite content to create. They're gonna launch the boat over here. Thank you guys, thanks for watching. Know you're awesome, know you're loved, and no matter who you are or what you're going through, just know that there's always much ahead. See you guys. Hope you all have a happy Sunday and had a great weekend. April is upon us. There's so much to do here in 2025, much ahead. It's a bird flying this way. That looks fun. He's about to have some fun. All right, guys. I'll see you next time. Much ahead.